Jordan dying on Monday in an early morning car crash in Hollywood. A spokesperson telling NBC News he suffered a suspected medical emergency causing him to lose control.
Was Leslie Jordan's sudden car crash truly just a coincidence, or is there more to the story?
The only thing that fame gives you is a platform.
Yeah.
And then you have to decide, am I going to give or am I going to take?
And what about Anne Heche, another sudden car crash victim tied to Ellen DenGeneres? Their relationship seemed complicated, but could it have taken a darker turn?
Nobody had the balls to go against the way things were, and that's what Anne did. So she's at the Four Seasons, and all of her suits and PR people come in and say, you cannot bring her.
As a date.
As a date.
Right.
So she brought her, literally, she said, F you, you're all fired. They're in the movie premiere, and before the lights go up, they're escorted out by security. She had like a $10 million, like 4-picture deal. She lost that.
Then there's Stephen Twitch Boss. His death ruled a suicide, yet friends say he was happy and full of life just days before.
There was clearly a lot he was going through that his wife didn't know, that people around him didn't know about.
As far as we know, nobody knew that he was.
Is there a pattern in Hollywood where tragic deaths might not be what they seem? Fans are connecting the dots, from Leslie and Anne to Lisa, Left Eye, Lopes, and Kevin Hart. Cars losing control, mysterious circumstances. Are these random tragedies or something much more sinister? Leslie Jordan, a comedy icon adored for his wit and warmth, tragically died on October 24th, 2022, in a car crash reportedly caused by a sudden cardiac event. But was his death as straightforward as it seemed? Hollywood has a troubling history of actors dying in car crashes under mysterious circumstances. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, Anne Heche, and even Kevin Hart's near-fatal crash all raise eyebrows. Fans are now questioning, are these accidents truly random?
It was worse than we thought. Just released video shows the grueling recovery process for comedian Kevin Hart following the car crash that left him with his vertebrae broken in 3 places.
But the story becomes even darker when you realize Leslie Jordan had close ties to Anne Heche, another star whose life ended abruptly in a fiery car crash. Anne, once romantically linked to Ellen DeGeneres, was involved in a very public fallout with the talk show host.
I want to be delicate in my answer and also let everyone know that I'm not here to do any Ellen bashing. I am here to speak the truth about a time that happened.
Anne's death came just months before Leslie's, and shockingly, both Anne and Leslie were omitted from the Oscars In Memoriam segment in 2023. Coincidence, or was this Hollywood's way of erasing their stories? Leslie Jordan's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Officially, his sudden demise was attributed to a sudden cardiac dysfunction, which caused him to lose control of his car and crash into a building in Hollywood. The 67-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene, leaving friends, fans, and colleagues heartbroken. But as details emerged, questions began to swirl. How could a seemingly healthy and energetic man like Leslie Jordan, known for his vibrant personality and sharp wit, suddenly experience a fatal cardiac event behind the wheel?
Jordan dying on Monday in an early morning car crash in Hollywood. A spokesperson telling NBC News he suffered a suspected medical emergency causing him to lose control.
The coroner's report cited arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, hardening of the arteries, as a contributing factor. While this medical condition is common in aging individuals, it came as a surprise to many who had followed Jordan's career and seen his lively Instagram videos, which he often posted during the pandemic. These silly clips, filled with Southern charm, had made him an internet sensation, bringing smiles to millions during dark times. What stood out most in the aftermath of his death was how eerily it mirrored another tragic event in Hollywood, the fiery crash that claimed the life of Anne Heche just months earlier. Both cases involved beloved entertainers who lost control of their vehicles under mysterious circumstances, leading to speculation among fans and conspiracy theorists alike. Anne Heche's death, like Jordan's, was a heartbreaking loss for Hollywood. On August 5th, 2022, the award-winning actress was behind the wheel of her Mini Cooper when it crashed into a home in the Mar Vista neighborhood of Los Angeles. The collision sparked a devastating fire, and it took firefighters nearly 20 minutes to extract her from the wreckage due to heavy smoke and flames. She was rushed to the hospital, but after a week in a coma, Heche was declared brain dead.
Tonight, her publicist tells us Anne Heche has officially been declared brain dead, but she is being kept on life support for organ donation.
The circumstances leading up to Heche's crash only only deepened the mystery. Security footage revealed her erratic driving moments before the accident. Witnesses reported her speeding through residential streets, narrowly avoiding pedestrians, and even colliding with a garage before fleeing the scene. While toxicology reports later indicated the presence of cocaine metabolites and other substances in her system, they ruled out impairment at the time of the crash. This left many wondering, what drove Anne to such a tragic end? Her death, ultimately ruled an accident, highlighted the emotional and mental struggles she faced throughout her life. A once promising career had been overshadowed by personal battles and highly publicized controversies, including her relationship with Ellen DenGeneres and her candid discussions about mental health. Despite these challenges, Hetche had recently seemed to find peace, penning a posthumously released memoir in which she expressed her belief in living life to its fullest potential. For Leslie Jordan, there was no indication of substance use or erratic behavior leading up to his crash. In fact, those who knew him described him as full of life, sharing anecdotes, jokes, and his signature charm wherever he went. His untimely passing raised broader questions about health risks, especially for individuals in the public eye who often face intense scrutiny and pressures. Yet some fans couldn't help but draw parallels between these two tragic incidents. Both Jordan and Hetche were driving alone when their crashes occurred. Both had garnered immense love and admiration from their fans, only for their lives to end in such sudden and unexpected ways. The stark similarities have fueled speculation about whether these events were truly coincidental or part of a larger pattern of Hollywood's mysterious tragedies. Anne Hetche's tragic story takes us back to Ellen DenGeneres, her former partner.
Especially when it comes to fashion, you are our best dressed couple this year. No, thank you. Yes, we're very grateful for that award.
The two shared a tumultuous relationship, and their breakup was highly publicized. Some speculate that Ellen's influence in Hollywood may have played a role in Anne's later struggles, including her career setbacks and eventual death. For context, Anne Hetche was once a rising star in Hollywood, recognized for her talent and charisma. In the mid-1990s, she was earning critical praise for standout roles in movies like Walking and Talking, Wag the Dog, and Donnie Brasco. Her career was taking off, and she seemed destined to become one of the industry's next big stars. By 1997, she had landed major roles, including a romantic comedy with Harrison Ford and a part in Gus Van Sant's highly anticipated Psycho remake. But just as her career was reaching new heights, her personal life began to overshadow her professional achievements. In August 1997, Anne Hetche shocked Hollywood by going public with her relationship with Ellen DenGeneres. At the time, same-sex relationships were far from widely accepted, and Hetche's decision to attend the premiere of her movie Volcano with Ellen by her side was groundbreaking. The media frenzy was immediate and intense. Hetche later revealed that studio executives warned her against making the relationship public, even threatening her career. She claimed she was escorted out of the event and banned from attending her own after-party to avoid being photographed with Ellen. Despite these challenges, Hetche boldly ignored the warnings, holding Ellen's hand at public events and becoming one half of Hollywood's most famous same-sex couple of the time.
Nobody had the balls to go against the way things were, and that's what Anne did. So she's at the Four Seasons, and all of her suits and PR people come in and say, you cannot bring her.
As a date.
As a date.
Right.
So she brought her, literally, she said, "F you, you're all fired." They're in the movie premiere, and before the lights go up, they're escorted out by security. She had like a $10 million, 4-picture deal. She lost that.
Unfortunately, Hetche's decision came with consequences. Although her films like 6 Days, 7 Nights performed well at the box office, her opportunities in mainstream Hollywood began to dwindle. She said the stigma surrounding her relationship with Ellen cost her a $10 million movie deal and kept her out of major studio productions for nearly a decade. Despite her talent and prior success, Hetche found herself relegated to smaller indie films, many of which were poorly received by critics. Her relationship with Ellen, which lasted over 3 years, was filled with both love and challenges.
For her to make peace, I think it was a very difficult thing for her to trust that I was a woman who could fall in love with a woman without being gay, and I think that was a lot to process. So I tried to make that process as simple as possible by quitting Hollywood, moving to Ojai.
Hetche later described their connection as deeply passionate but also tumultuous. She accused Ellen of being overly focused on wealth, claiming their goals were misaligned. The two eventually split in August 2000, with Hetchy moving on to marry cameraman Coleman LaFoon a year later. Together, they welcomed a son, Homer, but her marriage didn't revive her career. Instead, her personal struggles and highly publicized breakup with Ellen seemed to solidify her status as a tabloid fixture rather than a sought-after actress. Things only got worse for Hetchy after her split from Ellen. One particularly troubling incident occurred shortly after their breakup, when Hetchy drove into the desert under the influence of ecstasy. She ended up at a stranger's home, reportedly claiming that God was going to take everyone to heaven on a spaceship. The police were called, and she was placed in a psychiatric facility briefly before being released. This bizarre episode, combined with her frank discussion of her troubled past in her 2001 autobiography, Call Me Crazy, further fueled the media's fascination with her personal life. In her book and interviews, Hetchy opened up about the trauma she endured growing up. She revealed that her father had essayed her as a child, and that he was a closeted gay man who died of AIDS when she was 13. Just a year later, her brother died in a car crash, which Hetchy believed was not an accident. Despite trying to move forward with her life and career, Hetchy continued to struggle. While she found some success with the TV show Men in Trees in the mid-2000s, her once promising movie career never recovered. Her personal life remained turbulent, including a divorce from LaFoon and a relationship with actor James Tupper, with whom she had a second son, Atlas. They later split in 2018. Adding to her challenges, Hetchy believed that Ellen DenGeneres directly sabotaged her career after their breakup.
I want to be delicate in my answer and also let everyone know that I'm not here to do any Ellen bashing. I am here to speak the truth about a time that happened this.
Ellen reportedly made it very clear that she wouldn't support or promote any projects Anne was involved in. During their relationship, Anne was starring in major movies like 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford, and her career was on the rise. But after they split, things took a serious turn for the worse. Ellen had a massive platform, especially once the Ellen DeGeneres Show became one of the most influential talk shows on TV. Celebrities relied on it to promote their movies, shows, or any major project. But Anne claimed that Ellen refused to have her on the show, effectively cutting her off from a key promotional platform. For someone in Hollywood, this kind of exclusion is a big deal. If you can't get your projects in front of millions of people, it's harder to stay relevant. Ellen's refusal to support Anne didn't just stop at her own show. Anne suggested that Ellen may have used her industry connections to make sure other opportunities dried up as well. Hollywood is a tight-knit community, and Ellen was a major player, especially as a trailblazer in the LGBTQ+ community. By allegedly discouraging others from working with Anne or even talking about her, Ellen may have contributed to Anne becoming less of a priority in Hollywood. This wasn't just about Anne missing out on interviews. By refusing to promote her movies or even acknowledge her publicly, Ellen played a role in reshaping Anne's public image. The breakup itself was a big deal in the tabloids, but Ellen's silence and apparent refusal to even engage with Anne afterward made Anne seem like she was on the outside looking in.
I think we want to ask why one would have such a domain after 20 years of trying to shut somebody up, so much so that her name could not be whispered. The original canceled, and I am going to be original uncanceled. I am uncanceled today. I am finished with that.
But Anne wasn't just losing gigs, she was losing public support. Back then, visibility was everything. And if Ellen wasn't willing to back her up, it sent a message to the industry. This wasn't just a messy breakup. It was a career-altering situation where Anne felt like Ellen's influence became a roadblock she couldn't overcome. In any case, Hetch and Leslie were not the only people in Ellen DeGeneres' life who passed away mysteriously. Stephen Twitch Boss, a former DJ on The Ellen Show, was found dead from a gunshot wound in December 2022. Ruled a suicide, his death shocked fans, who remembered him as upbeat and full of life. Twitch, the beloved DJ and dancer who brought life and laughs to the Ellen DeGeneres Show, always seemed like he had it all. A great career, a beautiful family, and an energy that lit up every room. But according to his wife, Allison Holker, things may not have been as perfect as they seemed. In fact, she says his final note hinted at struggles and secrets that no one saw coming. And here's where it gets wild. There are whispers that Twitch got caught up in some dark Hollywood secrets with none other than Sean Diddy Combs at the center of it all. Allison has shared that the note Twitch left behind didn't answer much. Instead, it left her with endless questions. How could the guy who seemed so full of life, love, and family have been facing such darkness? Some insiders say Twitch might have been tangled in a world he didn't choose, even blackmailed by powerful people desperate to keep their secrets under wraps. And one name that's popping up again and again is Diddy. Yes, that Diddy. Now, Diddy's infamous freak-off parties have been Hollywood's worst-kept secret for ages. Sure, they look like fancy, fun nights from the outside, but insiders have been gossiping for years about the bizarre stuff that goes down behind closed doors. Apparently, these after-hours activities aren't for the faint of heart, and definitely aren't meant to make headlines. There's talk that Twitch, through his close bond with Ellen, found himself a little too close to these shady gatherings and ended up knowing more than he wanted.
Are you going to try to be early?
Yes, I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late.
So was Twitch, the man who just wanted to entertain, actually stuck in a nightmare of Hollywood's darker secrets? As Diddy's own legal troubles pile up, the timing of all this seems suspicious, to say the least. Could it be that Twitch was holding on to something he felt he couldn't live with? Or worse, was someone pressuring him to stay quiet? According to some sources, Ellen and Diddy's friendship might go a lot deeper than we see on TV. Rumor has it, Ellen was the one who brought Twitch into this exclusive circle, and he might have seen or heard things that made him a liability. So, did that final note of his actually point to a threat he couldn't escape? To those who knew him, it's hard to believe Twitch would just give up. Allison remembers him as someone who was always planning for the future, eager to spend time with family and dive into new projects. But no matter how joyful he seemed, something was clearly off. The people closest to him have been left scratching their heads, wondering what could have driven him to such a tragic end. On that Monday morning, he left home and quietly took an Uber to a nearby motel. When he didn't return, Allison grew worried and filed a report with the LAPD. Initially, he was listed as a critical missing person. Sadly, he was found in his motel room after failing to check out, leaving friends and fans heartbroken and desperate for answers.
Stephen Boss, the DJ, dancer, and social media star known as Twitch, was found dead today at a Los Angeles hotel. His authentic charm and infectious smile helped bring the Ellen DenGeneres.
The couple, who had met on So You Think You Can Dance and often posted joyful dance videos on Instagram, had big plans for 2023. They were already lining up shows, brand deals, and other projects, according to a source from People. He was so excited about all the projects he had coming up and was very involved day to day, the source shared. One of his potential projects was another season as a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. It was a show that had been close to his heart since he first appeared as a contestant in 2008, where he finished as the runner-up. Over the years, he'd returned as an all-star alongside Allison and was most recently brought back as a judge. That same judging role had started around the time his long-standing job as the DJ and producer for the Ellen DenGeneres show ended in May with the show's final season. Apart from TV, he had also appeared in movies like Magic Mike XXL and Step Up 3D, building a career that many admired. Despite the tragedy, a TMZ report later noted that sources close to him said he wasn't facing financial difficulties at the time of his death. So if everything seemed okay, why would he self-harm himself? Some fans believe Twitch's close ties to Ellen, and through her to Diddy, may have placed him in situations where he felt trapped.
I would like to introduce you today to our guest DJ. It's my favorite dancer, Twitch, everybody.
Stephen Twitch Boss was a fan favorite on the Ellen DenGeneres show, loved for his upbeat personality and talent. Ellen herself seemed to adore him, but behind all the smiles and laughter, some sources suggest Ellen had a deeper connection to Diddy than most people knew. They weren't just friendly on the show, they were reportedly regulars at exclusive events and private parties, the kind where secrets flowed as freely as the champagne. Rumor has it, Ellen introduced Twitch to these gatherings, and according to some, once he entered that world, it wasn't so easy to leave. In fact, some speculate that Twitch's life took a dark turn after attending one of Diddy's notorious freak-off parties. Before this, Twitch had allegedly only ever been to birthday parties.
When I was little, birthday parties, we had cake. And that's it, just a cape.
With Diddy now facing recent legal troubles, a chilling twist emerges. Allegations are surfacing that he might be part of a larger web of manipulation and control, silencing those who might know too much. This has left many wondering, did Twitch, just a dancer and DJ on a talk show, see something he shouldn't have? Anyway, fans have also been pointing to a chilling pattern. Hollywood stars dying in car crashes or facing near-fatal accidents. Lisa Left Eye Lopes died in a crash under mysterious circumstances while filming a documentary about spiritual enlightenment. Kevin Hart survived a crash in 2019, but many speculate his injuries were far more severe than reported.
It was worse than we thought. Just released video shows the grueling recovery process for comedian Kevin Hart following the car crash that left him with his vertebrae broken in 3 places.
Could these incidents involve external manipulation, like remotely controlled vehicles? Some theorists believe advanced technology could be used to orchestrate these so-called accidents. What's even more shocking is the way Hollywood seems to erase the legacies of its stars. Both Leslie Jordan and Anne Heche were conspicuously left out of the Oscars 2023 in memoriam segment. The segment pays tribute to actors and industry leaders in Hollywood who have died in the past year. Singer Lenny Kravitz played the piano and sang his 2004 song Calling All Angels while the video montage played. John Travolta introduced the segment and became emotional, presumably over Olivia Newton-John, his Grease co-star who died in August. Each of them left an individual and indelible mark that shared and informed us. They've touched our hearts, they've made us smile, and became dear friends who we will always remain hopelessly devoted to, Travolta said, referencing Newton-John's famous song from the movie. Newton-John was featured first in the montage, followed by other stars like James Caan, Raquel Welch, and Angela Lansbury. On social media, Twitter users expressed their dismay over the stars who were excluded. One user lamented Heche's absence from the segment and called the actress underrated. The Oscars should be ashamed not including the deeply talented, too often underrated Anne Heche in their in memoriam montage. Another user asked, where was Leslie Jordan? In any case, Ellen DenGeneres has remained silent about the deaths of Anne Heche and Leslie Jordan. Could her silence speak volumes? Her influence in Hollywood has been a double-edged sword, with some praising her philanthropy and others accusing her of wielding her power ruthlessly. As fans connect the dots between Ellen and these tragedies, questions arise. How much does she know? And is there more to her role in these events than meets the eye? Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.